Welcome back, everyone. Keys to the Rock, episode 7.
Why are you saying welcome back?
Well, welcome back from the last time they watched it. Episode 6 was the last episode.
Right.
And speaking
Oh,
of... I'm still going. Episode 6. Speaking of 6 and hitting sixes, we're in the East End. And, maybe not as many sixes get hit around this kind of side of the island, but... Daniel, it's good to see you, my mate.
Hey, man, good to see you.
Yes, sir.
Honestly, this is... We're having a great time down here. We're down the east today at a beautiful, beautiful property. How you doing, man? Good to see you. Congratulations. Sales manager now, we saw something right up or something like that.
Yeah. Happy, obviously. Happy, and that obviously took a lot of hard work and everything. So now being the sales manager for our team, basically tasked with all the meetings individually with all of our team and company-wide and all of that, recruitment, training sessions and everything like that. So exciting. In all seriousness, that is definitely where I'm happy with the trajectory for things.
Yeah, but back to the banter.
Back to the banter.
Speaking of banter, we have some awesome threads.
I was going to say, who are you wearing? I feel like we're on the red carpet.
Yeah, I don't know the name of the company, that the brand per se, but I know the name of the company that supplied it.
You look like you made of steel.
Banter and Steel came through correct for us, and you guys are looking sharp. Shout out them. Awesome ladies over there that took great care of us and are probably going to dress Ben for the rest of his life because this is the best. This is the most matching I've seen him wear.
Well, I mean, they need to help out my casual game because, as we know, I can always put on a blazer and a tie and button down. But yeah, the casual stuff they got, everything they have, and the customer service. And
it was fantastic. So, I mean, you see the post that you guys had. So, by all means, fantastic stuff.
Yep.
Drop by their store. They're right on Reed Street. Don't
next
know the
to
exact
Vasco
number.
da Gama.
Yeah, underneath Vasco, and place to be. And before we get too far and go along with things, just want to give a major shout out to our title sponsors, TG Insurance. Good like that.
Good like that. You beat me too.
Yeah, I beat you too at that time. And they have been taking great care of us. And we're gonna be having some giveaways throughout the year. And I appreciate them for just powering us along. They sponsored last episode, and moving forward, 2022, we have exciting things up our sleeve.
Yeah, lots of new announcements.
And even before we even move any further to this episode, last episode was a fantastic one. So if you get the opportunity, go give a look back. Who do we have on, Ben?
We had Rachel Sodden and Tosh Williams, so it was amazing to have them on. Brand new agents in the industry, and they sort of helped speak to a lot of the myths of what it's like actually being in the industry, especially brand new. I think a lot of people get kind of confused or in love with what they see on these TV shows, but it really is difficult starting out in the industry. So have a look at that, and they did some amazing feedback.
It was real viewpoints from real people telling you exactly how things go on in the industry. So much appreciated to them. And let's talk about where we're at right now. I guess let's do a little bit of a project spotlight. So today's guest, actually, we can just jump right ahead to that. Today's guest is Tiara Wilson of Crown Point Vacation Home Concierge. She deals with basically vacation rentals, vacation homes, and really just incorporates a lot of concierge services into that. She has a portfolio of properties that she rents out and markets on behalf of owners, and she is a bunch of different capacities. So it's a lot to explain. We're going to actually bring her on in a bit, and we're going to really delve into a lot of the different conversations and topics around the Airbnbs. Should I do this? Should I do this? If you're considering it, what you should be thinking about it, X, Y, Z. And Ben, I'll let you talk about the actual property we're at.
Yeah, no, absolutely. I mean, so we are in the East End, right by Wellington Oval, where essentially, the Cup comes to visit and it doesn't come to stay. But it's obviously an amazing property, incredibly secluded. Half of our team couldn't even find the place here, so we're tucked off right on the water here. It's been amazingly renovated, so definitely reach out to Tiara if you're curious about this property.
Sail Away, I believe it's called.
Sail Away, yeah. I'll call it Tucked Off. But it's a great spot. And again, with COVID and everything, this environment that we're living in, so many people are kind of even long-term renters, landlords have been thinking, gosh, maybe should I just do short-term rentals, especially with a lot of the remote workers on the island and things. So it's something that I myself, and I know you and many of us, I'm sure have lots of questions about. So it's going to be a very informative day.
Yeah, no, I'm excited for the conversation, because it's something that, everyone looks at from outside looking in. And, similar to most of our episodes, we're really going to get a lot of information that we wouldn't necessarily, unless you go out of your way to really reach out to, you're not going to get. And I mean, that circles back to exactly the reason of this podcast.
Yeah.
And then with that said, Tiara actually mentioned, so Tiara, Crown Point. Crown Point is
great name.
Great name. Tiara has actually said that you guys can work together on basically a project or a promotion. So we'll be launching that probably as we launch this episode, we'll be launching an awesome promotion for potentially a staycation that all of our viewing listeners.
I'm just learning this now, but okay.
Yeah, you can't enter.
No, it's okay.
You can't enter, but
that's amazing.
Yeah, so
amazing opportunity.
Let's build the buzz. And before we bring Tiara on, I know we always like to have a little powwow on where the market's at, how things are looking. Anything particularly you want to touch on? I know we're going to talk to Tiara a bit, so we don't even have to keep this very short.
I mean, certainly it's been continuously just as busy. I mean, our last episode where we had on that lovely property on Napton Hill, just as an example, that's already had an accepted offer and gone to contract. So it's similar, low inventory, rental inventory is a third of what it typically is island-wide. Sales probably about half. So it's very much continuing that trend. As we get closer to the holidays, things do slow down. But,
No, okay. So, I mean, since we started April 2021, I want to say, to now, you can see where the industry has been. 2022, do you have any expectations? Because in between now and next episode.
Yeah, I mean, I definitely think that this crazy seller's market, everything goes in cycles. I do think it will probably, not be as much of a crazy seller's market, which, people might think, oh, wouldn't you want this wild frenzy of activity? But, I do like a more balanced market. I like, when I'm working with some buyers and things like that, we have a good relationship with, you want a little bit more of a balance, but still a very healthy market and not, the prolonged days on the market that we were seeing years ago. So there will be more of a balance, but it is also influenced by the fact that it is getting more slow now in December. But, going to January, things should pick up a bit. And, I don't think it's going to slow down or be at the low levels that we were at in previous years. That's for sure.
Awesome. All right. So with all of that said, I think it's time that we guys bring in Tiara and we get a better idea of all things vacation rentals. Sure. So round of applause for Tiara.
Let's go.
Actually, no, we got to go to our sponsors. All right. So shout out our sponsors. We'll have Tiara after our sponsorship commercial. All right.
Sponsors.
All right, and we are back with Keys to the Rock, and here we have joining us today, Miss Tiara Wilson.
Wilson!
From a movie. Much appreciated for having us today. We love this space. It's a beautiful place. St. George's, East Side. We are here live and direct. Just going to get right into it. Tiara, tell us about yourself and your business.
Well, I'm happy to have you guys here with me today at the beautiful Sailor Bay, one of our newest properties.
Nice.
I am the owner and founder of Crown Point Vacation Home Concierge, and we offer services to homeowners within the vacation rental industry to help them achieve their goals, and as well as offer concierge services to visitors staying in any vacation home on the island to enhance their stay.
Okay.
Well, ultimately, real estate's always about location. Clearly, you hear that must be what the Delta 565 leaving the island right now. So we're in the East End. We're super close. Obviously, there's a big revitalization in St. George's, which is exciting for this property. So, what sort of other services or maybe concierge services or something do you guys provide, whether it's owners themselves, depending on how involved you are with that property?
Right. Okay. So for visitors who book one of our homes or book any vacation rental and stumble upon our website or hear from us on word of mouth, Instagram, then we partner with locals on the island to offer in-home services. So we have in-home spa services, in-home private chef services.
That's where my wife keeps going. In the spa services. But okay, yeah.
They love it. And what we do at Crown Point is we enhance their service. So for those people who are mobile spa therapists, then we will come in with the infused ice water, the hot warm towels, maybe a continental breakfast, just to enhance it all, just
Fantastic.
No, that sounds fantastic. And I mean, in this world and day and age, I find that, a lot of people traveling, no matter what the case is, you're looking for convenience. You're looking for like just the ultimate, you just want to click a couple buttons, send this email, and then you are sorted. Like, you just want everything all laid out. And it seems like that's sort of where you guys are. You guys are just making things very turnkey for the average visitor.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. So with the pandemic, so this is a service that we've always offered, but with the pandemic, we saw an increase of that because, of course, everybody had to social distance themselves. So getting the services at a traditional spa was a little bit difficult. Yeah. So that one-to-one, it was definitely more user-friendly, I guess.
For sure. Definitely.
COVID-friendly.
Definitely building relationships. So if I'm a visitor and I'm coming down, or I guess if I'm even a homeowner and I'm considering Airbnb, I guess it's a twofold question. One, who's sort of the on-the-ground contact? Do you guys have like property managers or liaisons or concierges that you guys
or you or the owner themselves or something?
How does, I guess, walk us through that from both sides, the tourist who's going to come to visit, and then as a homeowner, how do those sort of processes
Are you getting
work?
a call at 11 at night? The toilet doesn't work. I don't know. I mean, maybe, yeah.
So it just depends. So Crown Point, when it comes to the homeowner, we have a lot of a la carte services that are tailored to each homeowner specifically, depending on what they may need. Some homeowners are flexible and able to manage their home independently by themselves. But then you have services like our While You Were Out package. When they want to travel, they have somebody that they can call us, and we'll come in and
fill in the blanks.
Yeah, we'll fill in those blanks for them. The homes that are under our listing management, then of course all the communications with the guests come directly to us, and we'll handle it from there. And depending on the nature of the issue, we'll either reach out to the homeowner, or if we have the authority to go ahead and call a plumber or electrician, then we'll do it ourselves.
Right. And obviously, I mean, I'm even very, very, I would say, new to all of this. And, even as Daniel, my wife and I, we just built a little one-bedroom apartment. And we, in the future, probably coming in January, are going to start to Airbnb and rent that out. But Airbnb is almost like saying Kleenex. It's like a great brand, even though you're not necessarily, not every tissue is Kleenex. It's like saying, oh, I'm going to Sotheby's my house. But of course, that means you're going to sell it through a real estate company. But is it? I try.
I don't know where you're going right now.
But when people say Airbnb, is that the only affiliation? Where, like, I know there's VRBO. I'm a novice at all of the short-term stuff. So where else do you recommend your clients to kind of list these properties?
Okay, so there's multiple listing websites across the globe. Internet, like they're growing. Some of them are very niche specific. For instance, there's Mr. B&B.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Is that a Bermudian one, or that's
that's international, and it just caters to the LGBTQ.
Okay. And are the rates across? I mean, VRBO, Airbnb, are for the end user for the landlord, let's call it, is it similar, like what they get in their pocket, or are the fees like similar? Or
for the most part, they are. A lot of the listing sites, they have different subscription platforms. So with Airbnb, they have one where you just get 3%, goes back to them if you're the homeowner. So their total commission they take is 15%. And
of the total amount,
of the total amount, they take 15%, but 12 of that is taken care of by the guest booking your home, and then 3% comes out of your payout as the homeowner. On the Vrbo side of things, HomeAway and Vrbo were sister companies, but they just merged, so it's just Vrbo now. They have two different subscription platforms or packages that you can choose from. They have an 8% commission, so 8% of each payout will be deducted, or you have a $500 annual fee that you'll pay as the homeowner. So you'll just have to assess as the homeowner how busy or how much you want to rent your home.
Or you put it on multiple platforms at once. Yeah. Interesting.
Okay, interesting. And so I guess in saying that, what would you say? So picture Ben, for example. He's about to, consider putting this property on the market. And he's thinking vacation rentals because, obviously the pros are, you're getting it clean, you control, you don't have a long-term tenant, you're not restricted, you can sort of work around your schedule.
And for us, it's great for guests coming
like
down, so you can choose when you want to have it ready for guests.
There's a lot of pros inside why you would choose to probably rather short-term rental versus a long-term rental. And it's actually probably impacting the long-term rental market for a lot of these one-bedroom, two-bedrooms. But that's a whole nother conversation. But what would your advice be to someone like Ben? Like, I'm guessing set up a separate account, different type of insurance, maybe even a company.
Even like liabilities. I mean, we've been speaking about that, and we're by the water, so if we bought a kayak and allowed people to use the kayak, certain people around the world, more so than Bermudians, if they stub their toe, they'll sue you. You know what I mean? Or do you have to get waivers and all sorts for safety? Even here, we're on the water, so similar concerns.
And you can't really necessarily trust probably the head company, so Airbnb or whatever the case
So the key
may be.
to any relationship would be probably great communication. So you have to communicate that to your guests going forward. But starting out as a homeowner, wanting to get into the short-term industry, vacation rentals, I would suggest once you get your property up and running, everything, all your decor, your furnishings done, then to start with Airbnb. Airbnb, they are doing a lot of upgrades in terms of using their platform to make it host-friendly as well as guest-friendly.
Okay.
Especially on the liability side of things. They just released their winter release, which Brian Chesky, the CEO of Airbnb, went into detail about the different updates that we have.
Brian's rolling in it.
Brian, yeah,
He must be.
You know Brian.
Yeah. We call him the Chesk, but we call him the Check.
Yeah, not me. That's not him. That's not him. All
He
right.
just flew out of the Delta, right?
No, he's on the G6.
Okay.
Yeah.
Sorry. Go on.
But yeah, I would suggest if you're a homeowner just getting into the industry, to try Airbnb, see how well your property does. This industry is very self-governed. Reviews definitely can make or break your property. So you definitely have to put your best foot forward. And it starts with your photos, get professional photography. I encourage every single, this is a public service announcement.
It goes for real estate as, obviously very, very similar things, but no, it makes the world of difference. And a good friend of both of ours, Daniel, who I recently sold a place to, she is amazing at hosting and all sorts. And even on hers, she's now Airbnb one of the units in the property and is posting everything from fruit platters to various sort of experiential things that is just so key, as opposed to just a living room, a bedroom, and a porch. You're seeing it because people want to imagine what it's like to stay in those places.
And that's why Airbnb is doing so well, because they're promoting that side of things. Like when you go on vacation, it's somewhere where you can live. You're not just subscribing to a generic place where it's 200 plus rooms, a whole different demographics and backgrounds. You're choosing Airbnb because you want to live and vacation at the same time. So, promoting your listing and showing it off as to, what's the features, the characteristics that will really make you feel comfortable and speak to the visitor that you want to attract, And
so, I guess the next point then would be, how would you determine the price? I know how I would probably go about it, but it's probably a different sort of approach.
How would you go about it?
Don't put me on the spot.
I'm just saying that.
I would look at comparables. I would look at what I'm offering.
Mine's better than that.
Yeah, essentially, right?
They picked that couch.
That person's pulling in 400 a night. So but I've got this, and this.
Yeah.
So traditionally in Bermuda, and what still happens on the island right now, because the vacation rental industry is not a new industry for the island, but it's new globally. So there's different tech that's emerging to assist homeowners really maximize their experience, whether it be revenue and bookings in each home, right? So traditionally, when it comes to pricing your home in Bermuda, people will say they will do what you'll do. They'll check out comparables, and then they'll put a price based on what they think their listing is worth versus what everything else is doing in the area. However, depending on what your goal is in the vacation rental industry, it's a business, your vacation home, right? So you want to maximize revenue, right?
Money talks. Money talks, bro.
Exactly. So there's now emerging tech that's coming about that can be integrated into your listing that will price your home according to the algorithms, how people are searching. They take into factor your comparables in the area as well as holidays and all these different
Robots taking over. Robots are taking over. The job is not safe.
We've got someone who's watching who's all about the robotics, as we were talking earlier today. But and that's interesting. That when there's a price point, is it something that they can negotiate off of, or is it like a set price? Because of course, when you see a hotel room at $350, you can't say, okay, I'll give you $325. I'll take it tonight. But so what about that in terms of pricing?
So you as the homeowner, because this is your house, it's your business. So when you list on the platforms, they do allow you to adjust the rates. So we often find visitors saying, okay, we love your home. We want to come during this time. We see it's, during this time, it rents for about $7,000 for the entire time that we're here. However, we have a budget of $5,000.
So they'll message directly to the owner and give an offer, essentially?
Yeah, they'll send an inquiry and they say, this is what we can afford. And then you as the homeowner can say, well, this is the middle of summer. I don't need your booking.
Sure.
And then you can say yay or nay from there. And on Airbnb or Vrbo or the other booking platforms, then you can send them what they call a special request and send them back the price that maybe you can meet somewhere in the middle. Maybe you do for $6,000, you know? And so it's very flexible, you know?
That's what's up. That's awesome. Honestly, I'm learning so much right now.
Yeah. These are legit questions I'm asking. Yeah. Like, it's not like rhetorical questions like sometimes.
Like, you're going to actually watch this episode.
Oh, I'm going to watch it back come January when we're going to launch it. So.
Like, let me go back to this episode.
Yeah.
So, included in the fee, I guess, what's necessarily included in the fee? I mean, because go to a hotel, you're getting, daily housekeeping. It's probably quite flexible, I would assume, but,
Like utilities, can they just run the AC and leave the lights on and go out? That sort of thing? Is there a limit?
Well, they do. Yeah. Visitors, when they...
of course.
Even if you try to tell them not to, most visitors will leave the AC running with your windows open.
And water usage in Bermuda compared to other places, they probably have 20-minute showers.
Exactly. Shout out to Watlington Waterworks.
Yeah. Bermuda Waterworks now, isn't it?
Oh, it's Bermuda Waterworks. Okay.
Technically,
they're not a sponsor.
It's not the Watlington family anymore, but yeah.
But yeah,
$28.10 a month.
So the additional fee.
It is.
So you have the additional fees would be the 4.5% vacation rental tax.
Yeah.
Now, when you're operating a vacation home in Bermuda, you have to pay that 4.5% tax to the Bermuda Tourism Authority. Or else you may be slapped with a hefty fine.
Ooh, okay.
They can fine you up to about $10,000.
I was going to ask about the relationship with BTA, but I'll let you finish the included costs.
Yeah. So that tax, and on Airbnb, that's absorbed by the visitor, so you don't have to pay that tax. On Vrbo, that is also taken care of by the guest, but you physically have to go in and report that tax and pay that tax to the BTA. Really? So when Vrbo gives you a payout, they'll include the 4.5% tax that the guest has paid, and it's your responsibility to go and into your homeowner portal, because once you get signed up as a vacation rental on the island, they'll give you access to their homeowner portal where you'll do your monthly reports.
And do they share, now that we're transitioning a little bit, do they share resources and information to sort of help you be a better ambassador for the island? I would assume.
The BTA, you mean?
Yeah, and if they don't, I guess we're just going to the next question.
Yeah.
What's the next question?
Yeah.
I don't think that's all our time for today.
That would be great. That would be great.
To be fair, this industry is, like I said, new to the island. The shared economy is new to the world, about 10 years old, right? And with Airbnb's presence all over the globe, everybody, especially tourism and hospitality associations around the world, have to really adjust and figure out how they're going to incorporate that and still not do damage to the hotel industry.
Yeah, but I'm imagining, especially with COVID, that it's gone up tremendously because people probably want to go away with their family or their loved one or something like that,
and have
just have something more private and secluded and not worry as much about that. So, have you seen that with COVID? Or what do you foresee in going into 2022?
You took my question.
Oh, really?
I was going to say, where do you see
looking into 2022? I mean,
the market trends.
It seems like, hopefully, knock on wood, somebody in the background.
Well, we are.
Amir.
Yeah, I can't hear you. But maybe COVID's going to get under control a little bit more again. But do you think that it's going to continue to grow in Bermuda?
Well, we are seeing traveler confidence return to the island with the new regulation.
We've heard 2 airplanes since we've been here. So.
With the new regulation that the government put out with the 1 year work from home
3
permit. It's 3 now?
You can hear
it. Oh, the third plane.
Third airplane.
Ben, can you focus?
Stay focused.
Hey, I know.
I'll look at you, okay.
I'll just watch the airport.
With the
travel confidence coming out. Yeah, I'm getting you back here.
And the 1 year work remotely program, we've seen a lot of small families take advantage of that. So you have a mom and dad with their newborn come to the island now. Now that the world has been pretty much working remotely for the past 2 years almost, a lot of those benefits are starting to be plugged into employment contracts.
Nice.
That's what we're learning from visitors who are coming to and booking some of
sort
our
of coming
homes.
to check it out before they decide if they want to make the full move of, at least from my understanding.
Or the initial communication is literally like, I got a new job. I'm allowed to work remotely. We want to come to Bermuda and stay. Can we stay here?
That's awesome. That's fantastic.
And previously in the vacation rental industry, the regulation only allowed us to rent for consecutively for a 90-day period.
Yeah, 3 months.
But with the work remotely, all of that changing, they extended it to 6 months. So now you can rent to one person consecutively for 6 months.
Wow.
That's interesting.
It's a long time.
I mean,
It's a very long time.
So with all of that said, I mean, I know I'm more knowledgeable now on the I'm not going to say Airbnb, on the vacation rental side of things. I'm sure Ben is, and he's got a, okay. I was trying to.
No, one more question I'm actually incredibly curious about.
Yeah.
And it's similar to, I guess, Uber and things like that, how you get rated. So that's, I think, a huge question, literally, that I want to know for my own self in doing this potentially in the future. But after an experience, does the guest rate the landlord or the owner out of 5 or whatever it might be?
It
different
goes
criteria,
both ways.
And then both ways. Okay.
Yeah.
So they are even the guests, they're incentivized that even if they throw a party, that they have to tidy up and all of that.
Speaking of parties, that was one of the questions I got on the.
There you go, mate. So I just gave you one extra more. Party
okay.
boy Dan always got.
Silence in the background. People ask, what happens when someone throws a party at Airbnb? I know it's highly unpermitted or not permitted.
Because they have to have an account and then they get rated poorly.
Yeah,
Right.
but it seems like, that was a question I got today. And someone was like, can we throw parties at, is there any houses that allow parties? And I was like, no, but I'll ask.
So last year, as you know, everybody was pretty much landlocked.
Yeah,
you had to be here. So a lot of people still try to find a way to have a normal life.
Staycation.
A staycation.
Enjoy themselves,
And a lot of our larger homes saw those quote unquote parties. Now, for us, we manage based off of what the homeowner would allow. So not all of our homes we allow parties at. We're very particular with all of that. But a couple of our homes did see parties happening. And we don't necessarily encourage it, but we try not to Well, we don't necessarily
'Cause you want them to have a good
discourage it, but we
time,
try
yeah.
not to discourage it
Yeah.
as well. We try to discourage it.
Yeah.
Because we
Understood.
do have neighbors, you know.
and that's part of it.
Yeah, it's
with anything,
community responsibility when
Nice.
you're in short-term vacation rentals, especially in Bermuda, when houses are so close to you.
Yeah.
It's not so much spread out. Some of our larger homes don't have a lot of neighbors, so those people wanting to rent those homes, we do allow
more
for them to.
flexibility.
Yeah, we're a little bit more flexible,
Yeah.
but they come with hefty fees. So we have management fees.
the
So
deposits,
one of our during the party times, if you're trying to have like a birthday party, a celebration where there's a DJ or whatnot, then you have some either myself or somebody from our team that's present during those hours
to turn up.
Exactly.
I'm joking.
Just keep an eye on things. Keep it down, guys.
We're there just to make sure that our homes are protected, your guests, because although you as the booked guest, you may be on your best behavior, you
It's
can't
everyone
control
else.
the behavior of
I know
your
a guy who
visitors.
used to do events, and it's crazy what people would do.
Yeah.
But you're sort of a responsible party for everyone. who's
Exactly.
coming. We'll talk offline. So with all of that said, I think we can close the conversation. It's been a fantastic conversation.
Amazing.
I would say just give me 2 do's and 2 don'ts for, I would say, people looking, if they have their property on the market right now, like what are the 2 main, pros that they should be going after, and what's 2 things that should be like strongly considerations that they should, really make sure that they don't go about,
Okay.
on that. Some advice just to the
Or
general
one of
public.
each.
So if you have your home already listed as a vacation rental and it's operating on the island and you're listed, make sure that you have those professional photos. Get those, put your best foot forward. It helps a lot with your bookings.
Anyone you want to plug? Anyone you want to plug right now?
Deanna Williams and Kondwani Williams, no relation at all.
Right.
But those 2 we've worked with in the past, and they're amazing. They capture our homes. They have 2 different styles, so each of them are strong at different homes. Surprisingly,
Wow. I need their contact details. No, that's good. That's good.
See?
yeah, we can help you with that.
Yeah,
That's a
no,
problem.
sure.
We can help you get your
Sure.
listing up and running, Ben.
Perfect.
It's a
No, but even for
compliment service.
typical residential stuff, that's interesting.
Yeah,
So
they're really
so not to
good.
divert. So
Man,
obviously
focus on
Mate, we were plugging the Williams and Williamses. So anyway,
King Richard is out right now.
Yeah.
Never mind.
So
Bad
any
joke.
other sort of obviously photos, any other sort of do?
Make sure that your description on your listing is done really well. Communicate everything. For instance, with this property, it's in such a unique space. You have the boatyard next door, and then you have the industrial place next door.
Got the dumb cricket team.
Yeah. Behave yourself.
He's a St. George's fan.
Somerset.
There we go.
So you just communicate that,
Yeah.
and just to make sure that the guest doesn't have any surprises coming into your listing. Now, if you're new to the industry and you're looking to start up, then I would suggest talking to myself or other homeowners who are in the industry and finding out what works for them and others to see what may work for you. And also checking with government. If you have a smaller listing that has the ARV falls under the rent control,
22,800.
it's a different application form, and you have to apply with them. So
Yeah,
so
because
if
we have
you're
to keep a. We have
Is
to
there
keep
then a
minimum
restriction
amount
on
of-
what you can charge? Because I know there is on a long-term rental.
there's
Well,
no
you-
restriction.
You want to
Okay.
keep a
There's
minimum
no
amount of
restriction.
properties that are available
Yeah.
in that sort of
Yeah,
bracket.
yeah.
So your home has to get inspected. It will get inspected by
Planning,
by the
Land valuation.
Yeah.
And planning,
all of that. They get inspected, and then you get your vacation rental certificate,
Okay.
and then you're approved to go ahead. So I would just say do your due diligence and make sure you check with government to see the requirements that you need. I'm sure all of that can be found on the government website. Again, speak to a professional like myself or somebody else who's in the industry already to give
Okay.
you some.
Perfect. So many more questions, but certainly I think it's really important to put Tiara's information. So if you guys have
somewhere
within this realm,
We're gonna put it right here or something like
thank
that.
you so much for your time. Incredibly insightful, and we're going to talk a lot more offline now because I've got so many more follow-up questions. And thanks. We will be back after a word from our sponsors.
Welcome back. Shout out to our sponsors, man. Fantastic.
One time for the
people
sponsors.
over there. Green Light always got you sorted. All your solar needs and whatnot. And I mean, we're coming up to the end of the episode, but I must say, like, I can't talk about it enough. But Tiara,
A Crown Point. And obviously, she's on point with everything that they do. So much so that, a property like this, it's one that is really lifestyle driven, and hence the reason why we're still here in the sun setting.
yeah, fantastic episode. Be sure to. Well, actually, no, we're gonna not even get there yet. Give me your keys to the episode. I mean, what are you thinking? Who are you leaning towards?
For me, I think, for
Biggest
someone,
takeaway.
for someone like myself who's interested in doing this, I know many people, even if they've been renting their properties out long term or they're considering it, so just, speak to someone like Tiara and obviously browse around the different websites, whether it's Verbo, VRBO, as I thought it was called. But, if you're in this, you call it Verbo. Airbnb, or as we like to call it, Airburbo.
Anywho, so that's Ben's keys. Ben's key is to talk to someone who's in the industry and get a better idea, do your due diligence.
Yeah.
My key would be if you are looking to put your property online or whatever the case is, if you're trying to list it, show exactly what it is, speak to the clientele that you want to have there, be very detail oriented in your description and whatnot. And as Tiara mentioned, professional photos.
Yeah.
Shout out Williams and Williams. King Richard.
Williams and Williams, yeah.
But anyway, so we're going to move along. Ben, you know what? We're going to switch things up. You give the small business shout out this year. This
This year, yeah. Certainly I think which ties in very nicely with this episode and the theme is we're going to shout out current vehicles.
Okay.
So the people over there, obviously these are the individuals who have Twizy. So
Yeah.
the little kind of
electric
amazing
cars
electric
and
vehicles
everything
that,
like that. Yeah, because they set them up at quite a few Airbnbs. What I've
Yeah.
seen, they have the little,
The
charge
charge
charger
ports,
stations and whatnot. So
And I actually know, so it costs, because even for my property, I did make an inquiry about it today. I gave them a call, and it's about...
that's not why we're shouting them out.
No,
Why?
but it's important for viewers, if you're ever thinking about even renting out, you could even rent out a room. And if you wanted to have one of those for the accessibility and convenience of the client, the visitor, it's $200, I believe, for the charging mechanism, and obviously then the time for an electrician to install it. So overall, in the grand scheme of things, pretty, affordable,
Yeah,
I'd say.
especially for amenity that you can add to yourself.
Hugely, yeah.
So that's our small business shout out.
Yep.
I mean, they're not even that small anymore, to be honest.
I know. Been around for a few years now, yeah.
But as always, like, comment, subscribe, and share this episode. Make sure you look at our past episodes. And
our Instagram, certainly even our platforms,
Yeah.
we're building on that massively. So we're Keys to the Rock on there. So have a look at that. And I think it's amazing how things have grown in, only a handful of months.
next time you guys see you, it will be a new year. So we didn't really speak too much on that. But next time we see you, it will probably be it will be a new year, 2022. And,
Can you imagine the outfits and just, how athletic you're going to look by next year?
Yeah.
I mean,
Christmas-
Banter and Steel or other people,
Christmas.
we're open for...
holiday season might have it down.
I need to be dressed.
Rambling. I think we're just rambling now. Shout out our sponsors for this episode and all our episodes, CG and Greenlight. Great people over there. And thanks again to Banter and Steel for the threads.
Yep.
Feel free to reach out to us for any of your real estate related needs. This is Keys to Rock, episode 7. Have a great time.
Episode 7, have a great time.
I hate this guy. I always got to get the last word.